Alright. Hello, hello. We are ready for day 70. I haven't even, oh my god, I haven't even updated the day list. Oh my goodness. What a goof. There we go. Right. Day 70 of Naruto goodness. How is y'all? I'm feeling better about today. Because, not to mention, we have an updated controller with no jiggly cable, so I can do whoa, I can go like that, and not in any danger of the controller disconnecting. So I'm very, very, very excited about that. And because what it will mean is it should hopefully drastically speed up things, so I'm not having to kill like 5 seconds each time waiting for the controller to sort itself out. Anyway, roll call. Cup of tea. Oh, and I'll do the roll call after the next bit. But yeah, it is day 70. Goodness. Okay, this girl's being annoying. Okay, lovely. Lovely. Cup of water. Other cup of water. Lovely. And healthy breakfast. The healthiest breakfast you've ever seen in your life. So healthy you're gonna cry. 3 biscuits for breakfast. That is my breakfast. And Wasteland, what up? Hello, welcome in. How have you been? But these are digestive biscuits as well. And these are digestive biscuits, and they are just so delicious. They're so good. So it might not actually be the healthiest breakfast, but it's a delicious breakfast nonetheless. Scythias, hello. How you doing? There we are, fab. Sorry if the crunching is really loud. I was reading the monster manual thing last night, the year one. I just can't believe it. It's just utterly fantastic. It is absolutely brilliant, and just the fact that people put that together is just amazing. So that is definitely my bedtime reading it for the next week. Oh yeah, got him, great. Jeez, that did so much damage. Lovely. I'm really sorry about my crunching, but if I don't eat something, I'm gonna waste away. I'm gonna disintegrate into ash. Anyway, today my goal is to get to what's my goal? To get to 5,840 fights. So, which is about 86 fights. That is my goal. So we'll see how we go. Actually, because it's only just gone 8 o'clock. Well, not just gone 8 o'clock. It's 10 past 8. And we don't have much to do this eve. Oh, this today. I should say today. So probably I'll be staying on as long as it takes to get to 5,840. Because we realised that the boys telling me that what's happened is on one of our gutters outside the kitchen, the birds must have just made 50,000 nests along the guttering. Because that's what's happened is that when we had heaps of rain last week, the weight of it all has now caused the gutter to come half off the house. So we've got to go to Bunnings and get some excuse me. Gotta go to Bunnings and get some things for the gutter. I'm about to die. No, I'm good. I'm good. So we've got to go get that for the gutter. We've got to go get refill spray for our automatic fly spray thingamabob. And I'm sure we've got to get some other things. You know, like home, like hardware. I'm assuming Home Depot. That's like what Home Depot is, where you can get like hammers and gardening things and shelves and screws and sink tap thingies. I don't know. Anyway, but it's always one of those stores where whenever you go in, you can easily spend about $10,000 just on things that you're like, oh my god, we need that, and we need that, and it wouldn't hurt to have that, and oh my goodness, super powered hammer, let's go, let's get that. Oh, why don't we change all the door handles with these new fancy ones? Psh, let's go. It's, you walk in, and unless you've got a shopping list, you're going to walk out with far more than you would ever need. Lovely. Right, Pain and Shino. I've got a really bad feeling that it's really. I've got one biscuit left, so hopefully, and I could wash it down with some cup of tea, make it less crunchy. But if it's been crunching the whole time, do apologise. I've got one biscuit left. I'll dip it in some tea. Oh no, it's still crunchy. Oh, beauty. Look at that. We're just blasting through these fights. So at the moment, in my hometown, it's completely flooded. Oh no, not completely flooded. Had a cyclone just recently go through it, so power, internet, all that sort of thing, water, like the only water line into town has been severed. It's practically like no water, no mains tower supply, no mains water supply to town. So contact with my family and friends have been very intermittent, to say the least. But the last couple of days, there's been, you know, they've been able to get some word out. And I was talking to my friend, and so basically everyone in the town was cut off completely. There wasn't a single person who had a stable internet connection or power, other than, you know, whoever had the smarts to have a water tank and a home generator. But anyway, but because of that, no one realized how bad it was for their neighbors. Like, no one had any idea that they were completely uncontactable. Like, my friend thought that I had been able to get hold of my family the whole time, and I'm just like, nope. Like, last time I contacted that, you know, the first time I was able to contact them for like 3 days was yesterday. And she's like, oh my goodness, no one had any idea just how bad the situation was. And it's weird because the town that was hit had no idea, was the one place that had no idea how extensive the damage was. Like, the irony of that, everyone else knew how bad it was for them, but they themselves didn't even know because they had no comms available at all to be able to know, other than people walking around and talking to each other. But, you know, the government and everything's blocked off all the roads to all the major stuff, and, you know, keep a tight look where they can. So yeah, it was just, so I was just like, yeah, this is what we know. And she's like, oh my god, I had no idea. Which is just like a weird thing to think about, that the people affected by the disaster are the ones that know the least about the disaster. Beans. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. Lovely. Right, so we've got Guy and Orochimaru. Oh, that cup of tea's lovely temperature. Bam, lovely, jubbly. fight 12. Okay, I am doing really well in terms of time for this. Oh yeah, so if I can get to my 5840 by the end of today, then that means I'll be about 47.5%, I think. Which means that in approximately 3 more days after that, so maybe day 73 will be when I hit the halfway point. Which is really scary to think that it's only the halfway point. But then we've got, what will that'll be the end of, very start of March. Then we've only got 7 months, 7 months of it after that. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm changing the voices to English for the last half. Lovely. No, not Bubble Jutsu. That one and that one. Oh yeah, got him. Sweet. Oh, lovely. Alright, now we've got Naruto Kurama and Hanzo. Don't want that. And who did I say? Hanzo. Oh, that's right. If, let's say you had to play, let's say you had a workplace that had like a radio or a stereo or something that's, let's say it's connected up to Spotify and, you know, people can play their music and whatever. So, let's say you wanted to play some video game music. So you didn't want it to be too abrasive that people like, it's either A, not suitable for the workplace, but I can't think of any game that would be. I mean, in terms of like a rude thingy. It's not so abrasive that it's people like, what the hell is this? And then they turn it off. but also you don't want it to be too repetitive. So people are like, is this just the same song stuck on repeat? When you're like, no, it's just, you know, it runs through 3 times in the same 6-minute track, that sort of thing. So you're like, okay, well, what do you do? So one of your options is to put on a Zelda and Chill playlist on YouTube. You know, play some nice calming music from Zelda. So you put that on. It's, you know, 2 hours 55. It's pretty, you know, pretty decent. So you're just chilling there. And then, you know, it is soft. It is quiet. It does sound very, you know, basically how a colleague may put it is, it sounds like dentist waiting room music. And they're like, what is this? Who put on the dentist waiting room music? So then you're thinking, it's not dentist waiting room music, it's video game music. And they're like, what video games are you playing? And I'm like, it's like an action adventure game, you know, it's not like a city builder or anything like that. It's not The Sims. And they're like, and then they'd say, okay, well, keep that S word at home. Like, mind you, this is coming from someone who likes to be the office joker as well, office clown. So he's like, look, next time keep that S word at home. Place it the different next time. So I'm just like, okay, well then, and then next time I'm like, alright, you know what, screw it. You want something a bit more, with a little bit of more, oh fine, I'll play a FF14 Trials and Raid Boss Music remix. Well, not remix, but like playlist. And no, that's too eclectic, too much. So I'm like, okay, what video game is there, or video game series or something, that would have a playlist that you can play in an office environment that would be, what's the word? I think the word that they use is harmless. Would be harmless enough for everyone to kind of accept it as background music, so to speak. Because I'm feeling like Latin chants are out off the table. Orchestral music off the table, so got to kill all the Dragon Quest soundtracks, which guts me. Final Fantasy is actually, yeah, maybe I'm playing the wrong Final Fantasy. Maybe do like an FF10. No, but then the problem is then you've got, it all repeats, I think. Do you play something like Bayonetta? I'm like, no, that's too not out there. It's not out there music. Do you play something like Scarlet Nexus, where it's a bit more like electronic, EDM-y, possibly with like a little undertones of jazz in there? Actually, I think I might just ask my own question. Scarlet Nexus music might actually be okay. Yamato and Sasuke Red Sharingan. Oh, that's right. I was reading a interesting what's it? I was reading an interesting thing about video game music, and it was saying that apparently it's designed to be able to have on in the background, but not be so intrusive that you notice it more than what you're doing. Like, or like it's meant to like be music that's designed to aid in focus or something. I think, yeah. Of course, that Persona music, specifically 4 and 5. Oh, okay. Might need to listen to a Persona soundtrack. Yeah. Yeah, because I remember I was watching a guy on YouTube, Alex Mukala. He's like a music composer. He was doing a talking about FF music, and then he sort of like said this would sound really good as a Persona city theme, and then he like funked and jazzed it up, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's pretty jazzy. So, I might give Persona music a try actually. Yeah. I was even thinking actually with Trails and S, possibly actually. Yeah. So yeah, because how, like, if you had to give it a genre or genres, what what would you say like Persona music's closest to? Or is it like across? It's actually got stuff across the whole range. Young Sasuke and younger. Fab. Right. Younger and Sasuke. Depends on which game. Ah, okay. Oh, so they like to switch up genre every now and then. Okay, interesting. Similar to Final Fantasy then, in that sense. So 4 kind of uppy poppy, 5 more jazz, 3 I'd say is hard to define. Interesting. I'll probably just using those, I would kind of say, that probably I would start with 5 if it's more jazzy. Yeah, I am partial to a little bit of jazz, specifically smooth jazz. I think everyone who watched the SpongeBob episode with, is it like Squiddy G or something, that clarinet, that famous clarinet player, when everyone watched that SpongeBob episode, they kind of had their awakening to jazz music. Like something inside their soul was awakened, and they found a newfound love for smooth jazz. Listen to Beneath the Mask. Ooh, okay. Hold on, I'll write that down. Where's my pen? There's my pen. Oh, look at that. Just... my East 1 stuff. So, oh, here we are. There's a page. And the last one. Maybe not. This one. There. Okay. So P5 beneath the mask. There, done. Done. That would be my morning listening. My morning listening after this. Right. Notice 6 parts and 10. Why is she not using any... She wasn't using any substitutions. What is that? But hey, I'm not complaining at all. Because I feel that this one's going to be an absolute mongrel. Unless I can get 3 ultimates in. Oh yeah, got him. Oh, look at this. Beautiful. Lovely. Lovely jubbly. And got A and third Raikage. So I'm curious to see if these guys have like a special cut-in thing for each other. Bang, gone. No, he doesn't. No, wrong one. Because the thing about, I say video game music, and I suppose music in general, is, no, it's actually just music in general, is ever since I've been listening to like music analysis, I was listening to a music analysis of the 13th Struggle from Kingdom Hearts. So the one that plays when you're doing all your Organization 13 fights. Well, not all of them, most of them. Specifically the one when you're fighting Axel right at the start of KH2. But I was listening to a guy analyze that music and why he said it's... he basically called it a mess, but like in the best... like it's designed to it's designed to do something. But yeah, there's like 3 or 4 main bits to it. And whenever I'm listening to people break down a music thing, they always talk about in like riffs or lead-ins teaching you how to listen to the song. It's weird. Like I can't seem to quite in my mind grasp what they're meaning by it, I guess. But he said, with this particular song, the 13th Struggle, it teaches you how to listen to the song, but then at the same time suddenly goes counter to what you're expecting the song to be. Yeah, to kind of like build, like amp up the tension, I guess, or no, I know what he described it as. He described it as taking control away from you, sort of thing. That like where you're expecting the next bar to go on the song, it doesn't do it. It will do something different. So you feel like you can't quite like grasp about what the flow of the song will be. Something like that, anyway. But then with all of these music analyses, when they're breaking down all the parts, like the layers of it, there's like layers that you don't even like when you're just listening to it normally, I guess. You're not even aware that they're there. You can hear them, like when you have to pick them out. You can pick them out perfectly, but you don't hear them individually as such. Well, obviously you wouldn't. And there's like layers, and they're like, oh yeah, because they've got a glockenspiel going on behind here. I'm like, oh my god, they actually do. How did I not notice that before? And then when they talk about what all the layers are doing and how they're being designed, certain things. I think this one was all about dissonance as well, or discordance or something. Yeah, it's just mental. I like, the more I'm listening to people breaking down, specifically game music is what I'm more interested in. But yeah, like breaking down all the music, I'm like gaining a greater appreciation for them. And then when I'm listening to other songs, when I'm listening to other music, I'm able to pick up the different layers far more easily. And I love it. Like, I love it. I've never called myself like a music person in the sense that I would rather go deaf than blind, if that's sort of... No, that's a really bad analogy. I would rather... If I have a game muted, if I have anything muted, I'm not particularly bothered. If I've got music down quiet, not particularly bothered. Like that sort of thing, where I've been far more interested in the visuals of something than the music. But I think now that I'm listening to more music analyses, I'm gaining a far bigger appreciation for it. And now I'd say still far more visual than oral audio. Oral than visual, and it's audio and video. But far more interested in music than I have been in the past. I feel like I've done this fight before, but I must not have. Kankara and Jugo. I'll update the list when I get down to 5,900, because I'm almost there. I'm going to do 3 of these. Maybe not. Maybe I might actually be pretty good. Might not need to do more ultimates. Oh, look at that. Gorgeous. Beauty. But if you ever, it was part of one of the music analyses. No, it was when he was talking about the 13th struggle, that's right. He, and I say he, trying to remember who it was. It was a YouTube channel. Try to remember who it was. If I can remember, I'll say. But because when he was talking about it, he said, you know, it sounds. That's right. When he was saying it sounded like a mess, it wasn't. It was like a good mess. He said, if you really want to listen to a track that is a nightmare to listen to, you listen to Twilight Battle from Twilight Princess for Zelda. That is just horrendous to listen to. I mean, obviously it has a reason for being like that, but it's just, you just feel very uncomfortable listening to it. It's just, especially with headphones in, even worse. Yeah. Oh, so I've been thinking, oh yes, okay, I see FF7 remake, right? I'm engaged, I'm listening. Suggesting that Sephiroth's tipped a great time paradox. Not necessarily a time paradox as such. It's kind of like, you know, Sephiroth is, and this kind of gets into a little bit of the sort of the meta, not meta, the sort of more, the aspects of FF7 lore that aren't particularly explored in the games, but definitely in the novelizations. is because when Sephiroth and Aerith go into the life stream, because the life stream is essentially the flow of time across, well, I say the flow of time. Basically, it's it's made up of all the souls of the planet and all that sort of stuff, but it is the past, present, and future at the same time, sort of thing. So, and normally when you go into the live stream, your individuality, the thing that makes you you, kind of just dissolves, and you just become a thing. Just you merge with everything else going on. But if you've got super strong character, or individuality, if you know what you're doing, essentially, you can retain your individuality when you go into the live stream. So that's what happens to Aerith and Sephiroth. They can still keep their, like, I'm Aerith and I'm Sephiroth during the live stream, and they can do more when they're in there. So Sephiroth's floating around and he's thinking, beans, Cloud and the team beat me. I don't want to die. So what can I do to not die? How, I don't want Cloud and Thing to beat me in the Northern Crater. So what can I be doing so they don't beat me in the Northern Crater? And that's essentially it. That is the crux of it. It's not necessarily a time paradox as such, but I think how some people, because some people we're all conflicted on whether is it a separate timeline, has he branched the timelines and we're actually on a completely different timeline than OG FF7. Is it the exact same timeline, but he's just come in and it's weird. We don't quite know the mechanics of it quite yet. All we know is, if you're a villain and you don't want to lose, you'd probably do whatever you could to stop you from losing. And that's, in essence, what Sephiroth's trying to do. In essence. So, taking my Aerith example, which I love, so if it's heavily spoiled for the entire game, but the Easy Allies podcast got Maximilian Dude on. This was a few years ago now, but they did a 2-hour spoiler review chat about it, and Maximilian Dude was blowing everyone's minds with all the stuff, and it was all these details that he brought up. But he said so, it's around the plot ghosts and what Sephiroth's trying to do, and he was saying, well, the Aerith example in OG7, Cloud, after the reactor thing, Cloud walks out and meets Aerith in front of the theatre. So Sephiroth's right, what can I do to start effing with stuff? Well, when Cloud's walking out of the reactor, I'm gonna suddenly just lure him away a little bit. I don't want him to meet Aerith. So I'm now gonna give him visions of all these burning buildings, and I'm gonna sort of, say all this stuff, and now Cloud's now being lured away, and Aerith's where she is, and, now they're gonna end up, if they carried on that way, they wouldn't meet each other. And now, does OG7 even happen? Probably not. So that's what Sephiroth's trying to do. What the plot ghosts were trying to do is keep OG7 happening. So that's why they were swirling around Aerith, keeping her in place as long as possible. So then when Cloud's done whatever he's done with Sephiroth and carries on walking, Aerith's still exactly where she needs to be for OG7 to keep happening. Like that. So anytime the plot ghosts show up, what they're doing is keeping OG7 happening. There's a little bit later, which I can, around the avalanche and the mission to the other reactor. There's a bit that they do there, which I didn't pick up on at all. I didn't pick up on what they were doing or what it meant. But again, it's a very, very similar thing. And yeah, so Sephiroth's trying to screw with things, and the plot ghosts are trying to correct it. Yeah, that's essentially what's happening in Remake. And then all hell breaks loose at the end. I won't say what, because if you want to play, I don't want to spoil what the ending is. But what happens at the ending makes everyone very, very, very excited for what Rebirth is going to be. Very exciting. And also the other thing, which I suppose isn't not necessarily a spoiler as such, it's a spoiler for the original game, but not necessarily for remake, is they were talking about they were talking about Rebirth, about the trailer that came out for it. And they said, again, this is Easy Allies and Maximilian Dude, they were saying Crisis Core has now had a remaster. Like right now, in between Remake and Rebirth. Cool. Like, let's go. But let's assume you're the boy, like, who's never played any Final Fantasy ever. Let's assume you're the boy. You play FF7 Remake because you think it looks pretty cool, and you're playing it. Oh, I'm digging this. I'm digging this FF7 gig. Okay, right. I'm ready. I'm ready for the next game. And then Crisis Core comes out, and you're like, ooh, okay. So it must be like a little, ties in with what they're doing in FF7 Remake and that. Fabulous. I'm gonna play that. And then suddenly you're like, oh, who's this Zack guy? Okay. Oh, hang on, wasn't that the, I won't say what, but they'd have some idea who Zack is. So you're like, oh, must just be, sort of tying into what this guy's backstory. Oh my god, and there's Sephiroth there, what the hell's going on? So you play Crisis Core, and then the ending of Crisis Core happens, and you're like, oh, okay, right. And, obviously Cloud's in Crisis Core, so you can get the connection, and then you're kind of just a bit puzzled. And then people who've played OG 7 are also scratching their heads, because they're like, hang on a second, Square Enix is going to assume that people are going to play Crisis Core and most likely also haven't played OG, like the boy. So then when it gets to the big revelation, about Cloud and why Cloud is the way he is, they've already had that spoiled. They've been willing to spoil the big plot twist of OG7 remake, of OG7, before they get to it in the remake set of games. So what are they doing? What are they planning? Obviously, it's no longer going to be the biggest plot twist thing, because they've been willing to spoil it by releasing Crisis Core at the time they did. So it's like, it's all of this sort of stuff. They're like, what are they planning? They're planning something really big with this story, and we have got no idea what they're planning, got no idea about any of this, and it's just exciting times. Because if they had just done a one-to-one copy, one-to-one remaster of OG7, it would have been, people would have loved it. It would have been fantastic. But the kind of conversations that have been happening since remake wouldn't have happened if they had just gone straight copy. And that's what gets me excited, I guess. Yeah, so that's all without going into too much detail. If you want me to go into like little more examples here and there, 7 Remake, do say so, because I am more than happy to. But I don't want to spoil more than I need to if you don't want me to. So that's, I could literally go on for the next like 2 hours about it, to be honest. I really could. I really, really could. Oh, crazy! What up? Road to Ultimate Ninja. Could you do Road to the Ultimate Ninja? Maybe. But yeah, even still, it's even with Road to Ultimate Ninja, it's keeping in line with the sort of naming conventions that they've had in the last, with all the games. I dig. And it is good Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, I'm getting there. Which also reminds me, I probably need to update the list. What are we? Yeah, I need to update the list. We're now down into the 5800s. Oh my goodness. Kankuro, come on, please. Oh, no, that is all good. I mean, you're not at all expected to come. But no, I hope you've been alright. I hope you've been doing well, you've been keeping safe. That's the most important thing. No, if there's, I mean, there's not much I can do from a different country, but if there's anything you need, just let me know. Okay, I'm gonna update the list because we are down to 5898. Oh, lovely, beauty, gorgeous, and there. Oh no, that is fine. That is all good. As I said, be safe, be well. I look forward to seeing you again. And I've actually now that name that you pop the little name in, all the gears have been turning. I might pop some more stuff into the best Naruto game ever channel on Discord. I've actually, yeah. But no, have a good one. I'll talk to you next time. Thinking about FF's remake, actually, there will be if Wasteland, if you decide to keep playing, there will be a bit in Wall Market that has polarized many a player. Some people absolutely love it, some people absolutely hate it and despise it and think, what the hell were they thinking putting this in the game? You will know exactly what I mean when you get to it. I, for one, think it's utterly fantastic and oh my god, completely unexpected. But just be, as much as I can rave about the story, as much as I can do that, there will be some aspects that I say changes, I like to say additions. They haven't changed anything as such, I think. Yeah, they haven't changed anything, they've just added more to it, I guess. Like there'll be like a little sort of side diversion at sort of later on in the story that, you know, a new area that they go to that's never mentioned in the OG, never was a thing, but obviously ties into what they're going to be doing long term. Yeah. Yeah. So long story short, I don't think I'm not sure if I'd be able to change your mind without spoiling anything. Yeah, it's really hard to talk about without spoiling. Actually, no. I'm gonna try and talk. I'll talk about the gameplay, I guess. Well, no, I'll try and talk about stuff without spoiling anything. Oh, Hell House. So that house monster from the OG. What they do with Hell House is utterly unexpected, but the most fabulous thing that you've ever seen in your life. You will be grinning from ear to ear when you see what they've done with Hell House. Summons are quite fun. They're like, you don't end up not using them as much as possible. Or no, you end up not using them as much as you would think, but they're still really good. Music is fantastic. They have introduced or brought in characters from, like, there's like novelizations, audio dramas that have come out in the last 20 years. They've included characters from those. There's characters who you think are all new characters, and they're not. They're from an audio drama that came out in like the early 2000s. Like, it's all of this crazy stuff that they've added in. Yeah. Oh, and the Golden Saucer, of course. Yes. No, because that's the one thing I'm super excited about with Rebirth, is because they've said that you'll still go to all the places that you go in the OG. It's not like the story's going to change so drastically that you never go to the Golden Saucer, or you never go to Nibelheim or Mount Coral or anything like that. So yeah, no, the Golden Saucer is going to be amazing, actually. And I really hope that it's somewhere like that they keep in line where you can keep going back to it all the time. It's not like once you've visited it, then that's it. Like, yeah. Yeah. They will definitely keep the Chocobo racing. They'll keep the Colosseum. Is it called the Colosseum? But yeah, I hope they keep them all too. There are some theories about what's going to happen at the Golden Saucer. Yeah. The snowball mitten game. So many people are like, I think they talk about like the mood whiplash between, right, Aerith's just died, and now we're going snowboarding, kids. Let's go. But no, I love it too. I think the only mini games that I didn't like, and I think probably because I had anxiety around them, and because I really, really, really wanted to, wanted to make sure I did them properly, was just like the little mini games you'd get when you were trying to get the huge materia, like the submarine little one, where you've got to chase after their submarines, and you've got the thing on the train, and you've got and there's a couple of other ones. Oh, the Fort Condor as well. Yeah. Yes, no, it did remind me of Snowball Kids as well. Oh, Snowball Kids is such a good game. It is actually such a good game. It's underrated. Oftentimes even unheard of as well. So many people have got no idea what Snowball Kids is. Yeah, but the biggest thing that I'm so curious about is where they're gonna end Rebirth. Is because you could end it in so many places. You could end it before Aerith's death. You could end it in Nibelheim. You could end it at Aerith's death. You could end it at the Temple of the Ancients. You could end it in the Northern Crater, which is where a lot of people think they're going to end it. They're going to end it in the Northern Crater. You could end it... God, you could end it any number of places. Yeah. Yeah, you could end at so many different places. If it ended just as you finish your first gondola ride. Like, hey, golden saucer, whoa! And then end. You're just like, ah, beans. Oh, goddamn. Oh, well, kids, let's wait another 5 years for it. Actually, how many years would it have been? 3 years. Another 3 years, kids. Let's go. But no, they've said that it's going to be a trilogy. It will be a trilogy. So they have to leave enough material for the last game for it to be still like a full game. Yeah. Which is why I feel, so some people feel like, so where, whatchamacallits. So if you think about the OG trilogy of Star Wars, so Empire Strikes Back is your middle one, and what has to happen at the end of Empire Strikes Back, but also if you think about just the 3-act storytelling, at the end of the second act is where the team or the protagonist or the hero, whatever, is at their lowest point. And like, you think about Empire Strikes Back, what's happened at the end of that? By the end of that film, Luke's had his arm cut off, Han Solo's in carbonite, all hell's breaking. It's just a bad time. It doesn't look like things are going well at all, and oh my goodness, are we going to be able to beat the bad guys? And that's where that's where it ends, that's where it leaves. It's at your lowest point. So if they're following not exactly the 3-act structure, but if you want to finish the second game at your lowest point, what does that look like? You could say, well, Aerith just died. And that's, people are just like mentally, emotionally at their lowest point. But then you think, actually, I think it is at the end of Disc 1, or end of Disc 2, that the Northern Crater is. But essentially at the end of the Northern Crater, Sephiroth has the Black Materia, Meteor's coming, Tifa and Barret are in jail. No, not Tifa and Barret. Yeah, no, Tifa... No, hang on. I'm just trying to think of the events here. So Cloud and Tifa go down into the life stream, but then Tifa's all... Oh my goodness, I'm trying to remember the events. How does Tifa end up in the prison? Trying to remember hang on, because Tifa needs to be in the live stream and in the prison around the same time, unless I'm getting that whole... I feel like I'm missing like a whole story beat. But essentially, Meteor's on its way. That will be the end of Rebirth. Yeah, I don't know, it's weird. I've got one more key, and you go. trying to remember what happens. Hang on. No, can't remember. Can't remember it. I feel like I should. I should know this. Because does Tifa go into the live stream first, and then when she comes out in the deal? No. No, she gets captured first. She gets captured first, escapes from the prison, then they go find Cloud in Medial, she stays there, and that's then when they fall into the live stream. No, that's not right either. Oh my goodness. No, it is right. It is right. I'm gonna send myself loopy if I don't remember this. Right, FF7 story timeline. Right, excuse me. I'm gonna send myself absolute, and I should know this as well. I need to hand in my fan card if I don't know this. Okay, hang on. Okay, we don't want the early 1980s. Okay, that's Angel and Zack. Okay, this is all the Dirge of Cerberus stuff. Lovely, right. Okay, April. Okay, oh goodness, we're like way down. That's Zack falling through the... No, it was still, right, original continuity, here we are. Right, so that's Chocobo Bill, so we've still got ways to go. It's Dean, no. Icicle Inn. Okay, here we are. Cloud. Okay, so the lead behind the black materia. And... hang on. Oh, hang on. Oh, hang on. Party and Shinra escape on the high wind while Cloud falls into the live stream. Tifa is knocked unconscious as the high wind comes near ultimate weapon. Right. And then... right, so then Barrett, hang on. Cloud's party descends. Oh. It just completely skips, like, everything. Everything that happens. Oh, psh, that is a dumb... It's just completely skipped all of that. Right, B and young Naruto. And Zebo, hello! How are you? How are things? Have you been keeping well? The ninja path is going well. It's going well indeed. We're actually, because I haven't updated the list, we are at 5, 8, 8, 4 after these two fights. So it's actually going pretty decently. You've caught me in the middle of trying to remember what happens from like the second half of FF7, and I'm losing my marbles over it because I should know the order of events, and I can't seem to remember it. Okay. Store FF7 plot points. Here we are. FF7, no. FinalFantasy.neoseeker.com will save the day. Right, disc 1. Okay, love. Oh, it's even giving me pictures as well. Look at that. Yes, they are very heavy in scenario. It is yeah, because I'm just trying to remember. Basically, the point I'm trying to remember is Tifa in prison before she is with Cloud in the live stream? Well, which one happens first? That's what I'm trying to remember. Okay. So gathers everyone. Tifa gets knocked unconscious. She has a dream. And then when she wakes up 7 days later, they're in Junon. Okay, right. And then they escape. And then she has a slap match with Scarlet. Okay. And then they find Mediel. Right, who's the next one? Jiraiya. Kakuzu. So then... Okay, Tifa tries to escape with Cloud. Okay, and then they fall to the live stream. Right, okay. So... And I can't even remember why I even needed to think about that. No, that's right. I was trying to think. That's right. Trying to remember how Rebirth was going to end, because it's going to have an Empire Strikes Back moment, and everyone's going to be at their lowest point. So, at the end of 7 Rebirth, they will have Barrett and Tifa in prison. They will have Cloud in the live stream, whereabouts unknown. They will have meteor coming down from the sky, and the rest of the party on the Highwind doing stuff. Right. Okay, we're good. We're good. And if whatever this third game is called, let's just say Revengeance, because it's going to have a like the word's going to be whatever, something. FF7 Revengeance, it's going to be just giant fights against all the weapons after giant fights against all the weapons. It's just going to be that for like the first 10 hours. It's just going to be, right, we're taking down Ruby, we're taking down Emerald, you know, all of that goodness. my goodness. God, this guy is annoying. Should have been a fast fight, but it's not. I got him now. There we are. Beans. Right, okay. Hashirama and Madara Sage. I say Sage, Ten Tails. Jinchuriki. Fab. Okay, well at least I know that the menus aren't... No, wrong one. At least I know that the menus, why they're going so slow, isn't the controller. It's for whatever reason it can't handle 60 frames. Are any of you guys big Kingdom Hearts fans? Because if you are, then I've got a question around, or just to get your thoughts around, because we were thinking about, me and the boy were talking about retcons, and whether is there any, like, are retcons inherently bad, or are there retcons that you kind of just need to do to keep things running? Love the gameplay, hate everything else. Okay. Fair. As much as I love Kingdom Hearts, I can fully agree the story is convoluted as all hell. And don't blame anyone for not knowing two wits of what's going on. So I feel like it's a gripe of mine. Because Kingdom Hearts 1, super simple story. Darkness has taken over all these Disneylands. Sora is the Keyblade wielder. He is the only one that has a magical sword that can stop the darkness. Great. Fabulous and beautiful. Then suddenly Kingdom Hearts 2 pops around and you're like, oh, this guy has a Keyblade. Okay, and then you thought, okay, well, makes sense. Makes sense Rox is having the Keyblade because he's... Oh my god, what did I do? Oh, because he saw his nobody. Then that's fine. That's all good. Well, I mean, whatever. And then suddenly, oh, Riku's got a Keyblade, and Kairi can get a Keyblade, and you get a Keyblade, and you get a Keyblade, and you get a Keyblade, and it's just... It kind of just made it all feel very... It didn't make it feel special anymore. It didn't make the Keyblade as a item, as a mystical weapon of magical powers, feel special. Exactly that, Syndrome was onto something. I think it was Syndrome. That was from The Incredibles, wasn't it? Oh my goodness. But yeah, so that's the... And I just kind of felt it lost its way. I want to say a little bit, but actually I think it lost its way a hell of a lot. I still love it. I love it to this day. I think Kingdom Hearts 3, I was in denial about what it ended up being. I liked the idea of, Xehanort trying to get 13 versions of himself from across time and space. I dig that as an idea, as a concept, I dig it. But in practice, it felt a little bit, I don't know, it just got too much. I think what it is, when you get, I suppose JRPGs and maybe even anime are where it gets really, you get this more often, but there were so many moments in Kingdom Hearts where you suddenly, screen fades to white or screen fades to black or something, and then suddenly you're in like what is this place? It's like I'm in the middle of the sky, something like. Maybe I'm just not picking up on an explanation, but there's so many moments in the later Kingdom Hearts games where you're like, hang on a second, where am I? Am I in my heart, in my soul chamber, in my heart? Am I in another dimension? Am I in outer space? Have I been teleported somewhere? Am I having a coma? And this is kind of like my hallucination. You've got no idea where you are, and it's always where like the big, you know, inspirational speech, you know, Reen Schwarzer, right, let's go guys, let's do it. It always takes place in these weird locations that have just suddenly popped up for no explanation, really. And I just feel like Kingdom Hearts became a victim of too much. It was just too many characters, too many things, too many plot threads, too many references to other things. It just was too many things. Kingdom Hearts 1, you keep it simple, you keep it fruity, you keep it lovely, and then, like, that's it. Yeah, well, in Sever, if you do play number 1 and play number 2, and that's it. I think if you delve too deep and too greedily, you may not like what you find. In the sense of, if you stick with 1 and you stick with 2, you'll never have to worry about a convoluted plot. Yeah. Oh, Wasteland! I got the same packages. I think the only game I never finished was Chain of Memories, because I just find that combat system to be, I just can't do it. I can't do it. But yeah, I don't know. It's an odd franchise, because I love it, but also at the same time I'm ambivalent towards it. I love it and also meh at the same time. It's weird. I just think that they need a hard reset. I mean, Kingdom Hearts 4 is already a thing. Everyone forgets that like a trailer of Kingdom Hearts 4's been released. But I just really hope that they're using it as a reset. Oh, Tales of Berseria. So that Tales of Berseria was... No, Tales of Zestiria was my first Tales game. And then Tales of Berseria, I didn't mind it as such. Did I? Raven annoyed me. It was the name Raven as the main character. She just annoyed me I'm just like, I don't like the angsty ones. Like Shion from Tales of Rise, I can do without her. Yeah, the angsty ones just can't deal. And FF 10-2. Yeah, gameplay's good. Did I mind the story? Oh, I've got a love-hate relationship with the 10-2 story. There are some really good aspects of it, and some really bad ones. Yeah. Right, full monologue about retcons and the mysterious space boss arena. Okay, I'll note that down. I'll ask you about it on your next stream. Lovely. Also, what do you all think? I suppose it kind of fits into the whole retcon thing a little bit. Does it? Ish. It's on the same vein. Where, let's say, I'm just trying to think. When you've got like mystery stuff, when you've got like mystery things, what do you think about, how do I explain this? I'll think about how to explain it, because I just try to remember where I heard a guy talking about this. Oh, sorry, there's not at all. It didn't come across as a self-promotion thing, don't worry. Not at all. Well, at least not to me anyway. That's right, okay. He was talking about Sherlock Holmes. He said the OG Sherlock Holmes is, where you've got a mystery, you've got a narrative. It's really good when the story gives you every puzzle piece you need to solve the mystery. You've got all the puzzle pieces. The only thing that essentially Sherlock Holmes is doing is helping you piece it all together. Is helping you piece together the mystery. And so you've got like mysteries like that, but then at the same time you also have mysteries where you're given some puzzle pieces and oh my lordy, why is this fight taking so long? There we go, goodness gracious. But then you've got other mystery games where you're given 30% of the puzzle pieces and you have got absolutely no hope putting those together in any order that reflects what the actual thing is, because the game or the characters hide the other 60% or 70% and then just reveal it in a big plot twist at the end. So you would have had absolutely no idea of unraveling the big mystery, because you were never given everything to unravel the mystery in the first place. Examples being, well, there's three scales to this. One is, I can't think of a game example, but, oh, actually no, is this three? No, there's two-ish scales. So one is the Ace Attorney games. One is the Ace Attorney games, where you were given, you've got all the evidence, or you know, sort of piecemeal, but you get all the evidence. And again, it also depends on the case as well, now that I think about it. Ish. Actually, no, there are three scales. One is the Ace Attorney cases where you're actually given all the evidence, and then it's up to you to try and work out how it all slots together. The second one is the Ace Attorney cases where you have all the we've got 99% of the evidence, and then you're given the last 1% right at the end as a big plot twist is revealed during the case. Third one is Danganronpa 3? No. Now that I think about it, no, you actually are given all the puzzle pieces. Can't think of an example. But essentially, yeah, puzzle games where you've got absolutely no, or mystery games where you've got no hope of piecing together. Do you mind, I suppose the question is, do you mind it as such when characters reveal the missing piece that holds everything all together, and solves it for you versus you fully needing to fully rely on your own wits to solve the mystery. I mean, practically even in the way of phrasing it. Depends on the media. Yeah, okay. True. Interesting. Yeah, because I'm trying to think of an example. Trying to think of an example of where you're given absolutely no hope of solving it. Nope, can't think of one. Can't think of one. I suppose it's just different, for me it's just different flavours of Ace Attorney case. I think. I will say though, if any of you are Ace Attorney fans, or even if you're not, but you like visual novels and you like puzzle mystery solving, play, you can get on PlayStation, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I think that there's 2 games. There's Adventures and Revelations? 2 anyway. They are absolutely fantastic. I didn't realise it, but it's a narrative that technically spans both games. It is unbelievable. And because it has Sherlock, oh no, it's not Sherlock, it's Herlock. Herlock Sholmes is one of my favourite depictions of a Sherlock Holmes type character ever. And it is just, like, the ending of that game, like the ending of the final case is just astounding. It is beautiful, it is amazing, it is just gorgeous. And I dig it and I love it, and I was kind of just... It was even better than some of the mainline Ace Attorney games. Oh, on the second case of the second game, preaching to the choir in that sense then. But no, I absolutely loved it. Loved it so much. And it's got one of those kind of... It's got one of those moments where you're at the end and the villain has kind of put you in a bit of a checkmate situation, but then something happens at the 11th hour that you just, like, breathe the biggest sigh of relief, and, like, I don't know, it's just kind of, your heart just kind of sinks, like, how that bloody hell am I supposed to get out of this? But you do. And it's great. It's just beautiful. And also, if anyone's like, what the hell are these Ace Attorney games? Like, look, if you don't mind or like visual no, if you don't mind or you like visual novels, just play it. Just play them. They are probably one of my top 5 game franchises ever. Top 5. Does it hit top 5? Yes, it does. Alright. Just gonna quickly update the list. Oh. Will I update the list? I'll quickly update the list. We are down to... what are we down to? Oh my goodness. 64. 86. Oh my goodness. 864 space. There we are. Lovely jubbly. Kakuzu and Young Neji. In fact, there's actually, speaking of puzzle games, there's a game that I've got sort of waiting on the backlog, still got to actually buy it first, called Heaven's Vault. It's one that's gotten really, really, really good reviews on Steam, and it's part of a new genre, which I've discovered called Metroidvanias, where the only limits to finishing the game are your own understanding of what's going on. So you can technically finish the game straight away. You can get straight away. You can get on the path to finishing the game, but if you know what you're supposed to be doing. But Heaven's Vault, it's like you play as like a archaeologist or a linguist or something, who basically you come across an ancient language in space, and you have to, over the course of the game, piece together this language, and then you're reading text on the walls and you're translating, and you can get the translations wrong, and you getting them wrong or right will change the sort of change what happens in it. But it's a game that I've been looking at. I haven't bought it yet. It's on Steam. But I've got that on the backlog of games to play on stream. It might be after all the East games. Might even be a break between a couple of the East games. Right, we've got next Sai and Minato. Oh, also the thing that's got me very, very, very excited as well, is at the Nintendo Direct they announced a new Professor Layton game, which I'm so excited for, because I can't remember the last one that came out from the main line was, oh god, was that the Azrang Legacy? And that came out on the 3DS. And then they had Leighton's Mystery, or Catriel, his daughter, or something, some relation to Leighton anyway. But since then, I think the only game that's come out since has been a Japan only one. So I am oh so excited for this new one. So excited indeed. Because I absolutely absolutely love Professor Layton games. If you just like pure raw puzzles, they are an absolute delight. And when I say raw puzzles, like literally raw puzzles, there's like hundreds of them in the game, or a couple of hundred at least. But it's, let's say there is a, you're in a forest and you've got to get to this exit, and basically you've got a big grid of all these like square tiles. Move all the tiles around to create a, and they've all got sort of paths and things, kind of like one of those, yeah, move all the tiles around to create a path through the forest that requires you to get from the start to the finish in only 4 tiles worth, or something like that, or the whole, you've got 20 kg of 30 kg, or 10, 20, 30, 40 kg weights, and a mystery weight, something. Try and, can you balance them, can you put them on the plates in such a way that one is exactly double in weight than the other. It's like pure puzzles like that, and they are brilliant. Like, I think there's just something about Japan that they could just do puzzle games so well. They're just masters at it. Yep. Lee and Yukito. Oh yeah, sun's shining, we can get some washing done. I completely realised it's Sunday and I completely forgot to put washing on yesterday for all our work clothes, so thank goodness that the sun is out and it's hot, we can get all our clothes dried. But also at the same time, I think it's, the boy said it was going to be something like 27 degrees. And I'm like, not ready for it to be 27 degrees. doing all these fights come across any matchups you would have wanted to see? Ooh. Good question. Probably a Yugito and a Kiba, like cats versus dogs. I would have liked to see that one actually. I would have actually liked to see probably like a I'm just thinking because I was thinking like a puppet one, which I suppose we had Chio and Sasori, I guess. Maybe like a Chio, or maybe a Kankuro versus Sasori-ish. No, actually, yeah. I think Yugito and Kiba just because the whole cat versus dog thing, definitely. That's a really good question. I would have actually liked to see the Kages fight each other. So have like the Raikage, like A and Onoki fight, or Tsunade and A fight. Probably more of a friendly one, not as enemies, but it's just as a friendly bout. But something, yeah. Someone of the Kage levels fighting each other, probably. Rather than teaming up against someone else. Just Hiruzen and Rin again. What about yourself? Is there any particular matchups that you would have wanted to see? Because there's also the thing with animated as well, is there's animating a fight to boost the story, and there's also animating a fight for just pure raw, this looks absolutely sick, this looks cool as hell. And we're going to assume that they're animating for it to look as cool as hell. Okay, Sasuke Kage. That one. And young Sakura. Kiba and Kankuro. Oh yeah. True. So who did Kankuro end up fighting? Who did he end up fighting in the tuning exams? Was it Shino? Oh, what's this? Your changes were saved, but oh, Excel's just having a meltdown on the computer, but that's alright. Would actually like to see a 10-10 versus someone like Kankuro. Or actually, a 10-10 versus Gaara. I do like the idea of like what ninja tools could look like. Like, is there certain sort of things that ninja tools could actually be really effective against? Because obviously with Tamari, she had no chance, no hope. But could someone like Gaara or Kankuro be something that like ninja tools would actually be quite effective against? Masked and Yagura. Oh god, the echo on that is really creepy. The reverb and echo on that is terrifying on headphones. Oh, goodness. Alright, I'm gonna do one more fight after this. One more fight after these guys. One more matchup, should I say. Kakashi, and actually we're going to do Fireball Jutsu. And we've got Hidan. Actually, screw it. I'm actually going to go 6 more fights after this one. Beauty. Oh, and I was thinking about what, because on Wednesday I'll do a stream. I was thinking about what game I'd do. It's either going to be East 1 / East 2, this, or Cold Steel 2, and I think I might do Cold Steel 2. So be on the lookout for a surprise stream on Wednesday. Oh, my Wednesday. So your Tuesday evening for Americans. Righty ho. We have Sasori and Young Tamari. Beauty. Oh my goodness. And then one more. Gorgeous. Oh my god, this game really, I can feel it's getting hotter and hotter. And my hoodie was a great idea when it was colder this morning. It is not so good of an idea now. Okay, 4 more fights to go. So we've got Jugo and B, which should be, I want to say, relatively quick fights, but you never know. And man. Alright. God, 98 fights, goodness. Goodness gracious. Beauty. Okay, right, last 2 fights to go. So we got Yamato and Kaguya. Beauty. Okay, right, last fight of the day, and which will take us down to 5, 8, 40. Which hopefully knocks a decent chunk off of our, what's the word, of our, well no, it has knocked a decent chunk off of our fights remaining, but a decent chunk off of our estimated finish time, which is now, for some reason, maybe it's just the way I'm calculating, we've gone back up from September now down to the first week of October, is when we're due to finish. So hopefully today's fights can bring that back down. gorgeous, gorgeous? Great. I was trying to say gracious and great at the same time, so it ended up being greatest. Anyway. Anywho. 5840. And that is it for today. Alright. So, I was going to say tomorrow. Wednesday will probably most likely be a Trails of Cold Steel 2 day. But then otherwise a normal weekend. A normal weekend of day 71 on Thursday and day 72 on Sunday. And then East 1 and Trails, or East 1 / East 2 and Trails of Cold Steel 2 on Saturday. Lovely. Anyway, thank you for joining. As always, it is lovely to have your company around. Stay rested, stay well, stay fruity fresh, stay hydrated, stay safe, stay lovely, and I will catch you all in the next one. Have a lovely one, and bye.